Hi everyone, great to be with you on your screen again for another week as your community group meets. I hope you've had a great start to the new term as a group. Well, as you begin, why not share around your group again someone who doesn't yet know Jesus, and take a moment before you go any further just to pray for them. Just one person, one name, and then have the person next to you pray for them, that they would come and have a saving knowledge of Jesus Christ, that you would be useful and used by God in their journey to faith. So I want to pray for someone like that in your group just after watching this video as well. We have almost finished the book of Exodus. On Sunday, we looked at Exodus 32, and the great exchange is what I called it. And the idea of God's people exchanging God for a golden calf and idol. It's an incredible tale, incredible story to read through. So do read through Exodus 32 and have a look at the questions Peter's put together, which are very helpful for talking through together as a group. Just to recap some of the key ideas, we saw this great exchange and we saw what that was in the first 6 verses. The fact that the people waited for Moses 40 days to come down from the mountain. They felt fragile. They were uncertain. Moses was not there. They had no access to God or their mediator, the person who led them. So they do what we do, and when we're fragile of waiting and uncertain of the future, they decided to take matters in their own hands and walk away from God and say, actually, God's not delivering life the way I want it, how I want it, when I want it. We need a new God to follow. And so they go to Aaron, and he tragically melts down their earrings and gold to form a cow, a golden cow of all things. And we don't really know why it was a golden cow, lots of speculation, but the key idea is that it's not God. They're representing God and making a god out of this cow. It's the great exchange. And then we saw how God viewed this exchange. And God, up on the mountain with Moses, was pretty upset. He got pretty jaded by this and said, I'm actually going to wipe them out and almost end the covenant he made back with Abraham in Genesis 12 with these people, if it wasn't not for Moses, the mediator. And so we get to see glimmers here of how there's someone that stands between us and God who can put things right. Moses intercedes and says, God, why don't you just remember your character and your promise to Abraham? Please don't wipe him out. Egypt would simply just see you're an evil God, and we know you're not that, but you are holy and just, so will you pardon their sin? And he appealed to God's covenant and God's character, and God, in verse 14, says, yeah, sure. But there is a consequence for sin, and it wasn't just as easy as that. Moses went down and ended up breaking the calf, smashing the heart of the idol, making them digest it, which doesn't say much about the God you follow if you can eat it, consume it, and let it pass out of you, not much of a deity at all. And then the Levites, he gathers them and says, guys, if you need to enact justice, and 3,000 of them died at the hand of the Levites before God spared them and as judgment for their evil. And the next day, Moses then goes up the mountain again and says, Lord, can I atone for their sin? Blot me out your book, as in take my life, let them be spared. And God actually says he can't do that. And what we see is this glimmer of a mediator coming one day who will not only stand between people and God and our faulty, sinful hearts when we turn to other idols around us in our world and our culture, the idol of power, the idol of having possessions, the idol of our reputation, the idol of things and stuff to escape life, that there is someone who will come and who will actually stand before the void between us and God will look at and say, yes, because of your wounds and your life, I will atone for Luke's sin. And then we saw that the great exchange we need is in Jesus. 2 Corinthians 5:21, Hebrews 7:25, some verses we looked at. He became our sin so that we could become the righteousness of God. And God looks at Jesus' wounds and says, because of him, Luke, anyone watching, you can be forgiven and go free as a follower, not with sin held against you any longer. No idols hanging over your heads or heart that are greater than me, even though we put them there. So that's a recap of Sunday. Do read the passage, kick around some of the questions. Join us next week for our last week in Exodus as we look at the idea of so close but yet so far, from Exodus 35 all the way to chapter 40. So have a great week. Spend some time praying for those that don't know Jesus. Enjoy time with one another, getting to know one another, laugh, enjoy coffee, food, friends, and I look forward to seeing you on Sunday. Bye-bye.